Grace and peace, everyone. Grace and peace. What a blessing it is to be here on this evening. Today is what? Tuesday, May the 27th, 2025. Can you believe it? It's already 2025 and it's already almost June. So, but we're glad to be here because we're above ground. We're happy. We have Jesus on our side. And even those that may not have Jesus, this is the opportunity to get to know him. But tonight, I am Portia Wheatley. Yesterday I was Portia. Today I'm Portia. Tomorrow I'll be Portia. I am Portia Wheatley. I am the founder and the president of a nonprofit organization acknowledged as Trophy of Life Incorporated, where we have the great opportunity. It is the action of hope and encouragement. We render hope and encouragement to, uh, I was going to say this dying world, but everybody isn't on the dying side. So I am happy to bring in my guests to actually help with this world that we're living in bringing hope and encouragement. And what I would love for you to do, I would like for you to kind of like sit back and listen to these two generations. Well, really, it's two generations, Anita and I, and then we have Faith as well. So that's kind of like it's two generations, but three people. So, but I want you to really listen to some of the topics that we're going to have on tonight. But before we go jump into the conversation, we would love for you to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Even tonight, like, share. It may be something that someone else may be able to use in their life in this journey called life. So we want you to actually sit back, take note, share, and put some comments in the post us if you would like to do that. If you have a question, I know I'm so looking forward to this because the different generations, we can look at the pretty much the same thing and come up with a different outlook or a different perspective or a different answer or whatever it may be. But tonight, I would love to welcome Anita Helm and her daughter, Faith Helm. And we're going to jump into the age difference and religion and personal and business. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. So I would now, you know what I want to do is just to welcome you to this platform. Welcome you to this platform because I know in your experience in life, you're at the age now and you're like, I have something to share. And I want you to actually share out of experience and share out of some of your education. And I know both of you have that. You can couple that together and come out again with different perspectives, but you have something to offer. And I love to use this platform to coming from different perspectives, not just one culture, not just one religion, not just one, type of person, because we are all different. And I love the different personalities that God has given us. So tonight we're going to hear from that generation and this generation. So again, tonight, welcome Anita, welcome Faith. How are you doing this evening?
Great. Doing all right. Doing all
You
right.
doing all right? You sure you're doing all right? Good. Look, I'm going to give you an opportunity to actually introduce yourselves. I'm not going to introduce you. I want you to do that particular part of just who you are, what you
Okay.
do, and then we'll come back to some questions or um,
Okay.
to hear from you. Anita?
Okay. So this is Faith Helm, and like we were just explained, she's my daughter. She's also the owner and founder of HKL for You, which means
No,
Hard
no,
Knock Life for
no,
Us.
no, no. I want you to introduce yourself. Faith is going to do hers.
I'm introducing myself. Okay, I thought I had to introduce. Okay, I'm sorry. That's how it happens in our house. So I'm Anita Helm. I am the founder and owner of Four Does Productions. Joe is a female deer, and I for mothers. The number four for mothers, and to teach people how to live and navigate faith, business, and relationships. And so I have a broadcast of my own, a podcast, and it's called Milkshake Mondays, God's Word Explained. I'm the author of two books, A Leap of Faith, A Life Filled with Questionable Choices, which is found on Audible, as well. And I have a new book that came out where I co-authored with Matthew Tyner Sr. and Michael Melnick called Fast and Hard from Addictions to Redemption. And I'm just plain, I'm a plain speaker and I enjoy people. And I have asked Faith to come and join us to have this conversation. I'm the extrovert of the family, and this is the introvert. And we have a new podcast companion off my Milkshake Monday called Milkshake Monday Backdrop, where she and I kind of go back and forth talking. So, telling you about that scenario that you found it very interesting. So that's why we're on together. And I dragged my introvert out again.
Yes. Hello, I'm Faith. Keyword dragged. I am an introvert. I am an owner and founder of HKL for You, which is Hard Knock Life for Us. I also work for the government currently. I like to do everything but show my face sometimes. As you see, this is really out of my comfort zone, but I'm glad to be here.
I was looking, I'm like, okay, Faith, you okay? You okay? But I know you're going to do perfectly well. I know you're going to do. What is the age difference? Tell us your age so we'll know, we got the older, middle, and younger.
So I'm a 1967 baby, so I'll be 58 this July.
I'm 2001. I'm 23. Yeah.
Did you say 2001?
Yes, 2001.
23. As they say, I have socks older than her. So it's all good. It's all good though. It's all good. Look, let's jump in. Where shall we start? Let's start with our personal selves. Our personal selves, in the sense of what is it that you like to do as far as hobbies? And then Faith, when Anita is finished, I am very curious to see if you pretty much like the same thing or something different. Our audience is going to be like, what? Okay, go.
So for me personally, I took up golf 3 years ago. I've always heard of how fun it was. I love it. I try to golf twice a week. I like to go and run in the water at the local aquatic center for about an hour, then take some kind of aerobics class in the water. All of this is 4 feet deep. I don't like to mess up my hair. I like to sing and talk. I try to develop a business that's these are things that I love to do. I don't mind reading, but I'd rather listen to books or listen to teachings and that kind of thing. I love to talk to people. I'm the neighborhood mama, so I'm always around talking. If a new baby's on the block, I'm going to go have some baby time. So I can't think of, I love jewelry. So I love to go to pawn shops and places to find nice jewelry. Like to keep my hair done, so always fashionable. And I am a thrifty person. I like to find deals all the time.
Yeah. So Faith, when she was the neighborhood mama, or I think that's something like that, she said, did you bring the kids home?
No. No. I like my peace. But no, that's not at all.
I go around the neighborhood. I go outside.
Okay. But did you bring hope to these kids, or what did you do with the kids? You fed them or what?
Well, there's families who are mamas and dads and kids. I will feed children. I will take snacks, but some of the people in the neighborhood don't want sugar, so I got to be careful with the snacks. When I go to see little newborn babies, I give mamas and daddies a rest. So I say, okay, I got the baby. Y'all go do what you got to do, take a nap, whatever you're going to do. So I go to play with them, and I talk. I just go and shoot the breeze and have laughs and just check on like mental health checks. I'm just coming to bring some laughter to the cul-de-sac. Yeah.
Faith is like, oh Lord, come on. Go ahead, Faith.
Yeah, but so me, I'm gonna be honest, I'm opposite than her. She likes to go outside. I like to be inside. I like to watch Netflix, watch my shows, have my alone time, sleep. if it's like extra outside, extracurricular activities, I'll go bowling. I like going to spend time with my grandmother. I really don't like talking that much to people. Not because I don't like people, but it's just like I have to save my energy for things that actually like I need to save my energy.
See, that's
But I'm getting out of my comfort zone. I'm getting out of my comfort zone. So that's very key. But I do like to stay inside to watch my shows, read. But that's mainly it for me.
you all live in the
Unless a
same
baby gets
house.
dropped on our doorstep.
Yeah.
I said, unless a baby gets dropped on our doorstep and we have to take care for 2 weeks, then she has to activate.
Yeah.
Now you guys live in the same house. You do one thing and you do another, Anita.
Yes,
Hey,
ma'am.
Yes.
that's the way it is. Like it's
Prayers.
after
Prayers.
We
after
have 3 levels. We have 3 levels in our house. So normally one of us is on one level and the other is on the other.
okay, all right. So talk to us about business. How do you between your business meaning Anita and your business Faith, tell us the differences in how you approach business in this 2025 year of whatever is going on.
So I'm more of a chill person when it comes to business. I started my business in high school, really. So since I do videography and more so I'm behind the camera rather than in front of the camera, I take my business like life as I go. If I meet a client or if I have new business, I kind of have to have a personal relationship with that person to see what they're to see basically what they want from me and how my business can help with technology because it's kind of technology based of my business. So yeah, that's pretty much.
So you
That's
have to
pretty
have
much it.
pretty much a personal relationship with them. I know you're going to find out what. Okay, okay. What about? Okay, well, what I'm saying is you can't have a personal relationship with everybody, but you do find out what they want so that you can supply what they need. I understand. I understand. What about you, Miss Anita? How do you
Can I
approach
clarify
business?
something? So I understand, like you were getting ready to say, people who are your clients, you don't have to necessarily be friends with them. However, you want to make sure whatever they want and the
Right.
objective that they're coming for, that you're going to meet their expectation. Faith is willing to get rid of business because she doesn't enjoy the relationship. I, on the other hand, you know, I'm probably going to stick it out more so than she would, but I'm forward facing. So I'm in front of cameras, I'm on stages, I get up very early and work very late. I don't mind doing a 6th day. I try not to do that 7th day. When I have an idea, I normally will ask Faith, and I have another daughter, Albany, and my son-in-law, who are all very brilliant people. Faith is the IT person. Albany is a writer, the creative. Broderick is an analyst. And so I utilize the family in a lot of things that I do. I'm always trying to find avenues to reach out beyond the normal mechanism, especially when it comes to things of faith. So that's why you see the podcast. I don't always think that I'm going to go to a church or a woman's group or go to retreats, but I love those venues. But sometimes people will say, well, can you come speak for this group? Or can you come to this book club? Or can you do, and I like meeting new people. Even when I went to, well, how you and I met, I traveled a long distance because I wanted to support another author. And I had met whoever was helping to set up at my doctor's office. So I talk to people, we network. So I do a lot of networking. And
So
I
you do a lot.
share things.
You do talking, and Faith doesn't like really to do a lot of talking.
Correct. Yes.
You
Yes.
see?
Yes. Yes.
That's a different generation. That's a different generation.
Yeah.
But you get done what you need to get done, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
There you go. So Anita takes the long road and you take the shortcut. You meet together.
Yes. Yes. That's correct.
She knows how to turn on. She calls her Anita. She says, "I know how to turn it on when I." And she remembers.
Yeah.
I remember she was in college. Excuse me, and she said, "I can turn it on, Mom, if I need to." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay."
I understand. I understand. They call my oldest son my husband, and they call my youngest son me. So hey, you do what you got to do when you got to do it, and make you handle your
That's
business.
right.
Handle
That's
your
exactly.
business.
Right.
Do it.
That's right.
So, okay, what about respect? I find that in this generation now, um, oh, let's start with even customer service. There's a level of respect that's needed there. Right. I see you laughing, Faith, in the sense of what happened to may I help you? Please, thank you. And I'm like, okay, and then let alone now on the flip side of that, you have the older generation, because I know you kind of earn respect. You have to earn respect to a certain degree. And then there are some that is automatically given. So what do you find with receiving as well as giving respect? Let's start with you, Faith.
So for me, when it comes to respect, I usually am a person, because I just was raised with giving respect. If it's not reciprocated, I automatically remove myself. uh, because I tell the person, I'm gonna be transparent with that person, saying that this, like, I'm being disrespected. You know, I want you to know that, and to see if they give me a negative feedback or a negative coming off of that, of me giving my feedback, I automatically remove myself, because it's not good. I gave my feedback to you, and you're gonna take it the wrong way. You're gonna take it as criticism sometimes. But yeah, I remove myself. I have no problem, like, saying how I feel, especially like my mother said previously. Like, I have no problem letting go of a client because of that. I have no problem with the word no. So that, to me, when it comes to customer service and respect, there's a thin line with that, and I don't tolerate disrespect at all.
And I definitely understand that. We have one of our guests that says, Mayor McLemore, she said, that's no more in the sense of respect. She says, especially if they are not taught. So I can definitely understand that when a generation is not taught respect or please or thank you or may I help you, or just boundaries, if they're not given to lessons taught on that, when they grow up, it's going to be the same thing. So it's a matter of the generations teaching the younger generation and their generations. And there are some that they're completely adults and still don't know the lesson of, or the era of respect. It gets to the point where we almost have to say, do you mind if you do you mind saying thank you? And sometimes at the end of a transaction, they're either, if
Mhm.
you're purchasing something, the person gives you that particular item or product or whatever, and you had to say, well, you're welcome, because they don't say thank you. I mean, little things like that. It has to, respect is earned, and respect is also sometimes an automatic response or service that's given to you. So Miss Anita, what is your thoughts on respect?
Well, I have a 95-year-old mother. So my generational understanding of respect is exactly what you say. And even yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. So the formality of that has been lost. But my children always knew that when they came to our home, they had to respect us. When they went out to see other people, whether it was their classmates or their teachers or aunties, uncles, or whoever, there was always a level of respect. And I never tolerated whining and back talk. So in the house, that structure was started. And
Yeah.
then when they went out into the world, they followed up. And even today, they was like, oh, I hate whining. Well, because I never let them whine. And if they got something, they needed to say thank you. or if I even, or even the attitude, they had to make sure that they kept their attitudes in check. So when they go out in the world, like she just explained, she doesn't tolerate a lot, and she's quick. I'm political. She's like her father. No, she's gonna say, you crossed the boundary. You're done.
Legit.
That's how she is.
Keep that going. Let me look. My light came on. Let me plug in something. Keep talking.
Sure, sure, sure. I know that for both of us, we always want to treat people very well. And we don't want to treat people disrespectfully. And no matter if they are the person who's your waitress or someone helping you, whether they are doing a service for you, pay them right, treat them right, and always think about how it is for them to support you, but you should be supporting and being a blessing to them. And I think both of us are that way. Whether you're an introvert or extrovert, you can always treat people well and treat them respectfully. Yeah.
That's a given.
Those stares too.
I'm sorry, say it again.
I said those stares when I was younger of like when I didn't say yes ma'am or yes sir got me in check real quickly. So I know.
Yeah, it's me. I don't care where you go. I don't care what you do. There's always a please and a thank you, or even what what happened to people holding the door for you when you're entering a building,
Mm.
especially a man doing it for a woman. Don't,
I normally get them. I think sometimes it's how you come across, because when I go out, I'm usually smiling, I'm very friendly, and a man normally, whether I know them or not, I'm not flirting, don't get no looks. I'm just saying, I
no,
normally will get a man to open a door. He will open a door. But sometimes I think a man could see and say, oh, well, she's going to take care of that. Because I'll stand there and I'll like, okay, you going to open this door? Because it's supposed to happen that way.
oh, come on, Anita. It's supposed to happen that way, yes, but it don't know. But I
I
see
will.
your face, Faith. I see your face, Faith. Yeah. In this generation, oh yeah, maybe our generation, yes. But this generation is a little different. And believe me, my audience, please know that I'm not bashing the younger generation. I'm definitely not bashing them. I'm just speaking the differences in the two generations, a 20 something year old and 50 50 something, right? Would you say, how old were you, Anita?
I am going to
Spit
be
it out,
50.
spit it
If
out.
you put on blast twice, I'm going to be 58 in July. I'm
Okay.
going on blast. It's on a Facebook post. I mean, we're live.
Embrace it.
I embrace it. See, at 23, I don't not embrace my age. I'm just telling you that.
Like
I just said I don't go out and tell everybody. I usually say I'm close to 60, and I just leave it there like that.
Okay.
She's 23.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And then these two generations live in the same house, so I'm sure it's never a dull moment. I'm sure it's never a dull
It's
moment.
not.
What about your
No.
finances? How can we share some hope and encouragement to from your generation, Anita, as well as yours, Faith? Because there are adults who don't have a savings, don't know how to hold on to money. But believe me, with the way the economy is now, you better learn how to do everything you can yourself to save some money so that you can live on this journey in life. You definitely. Faith, what is your part on finances, and then Anita?
Whew, that's a hard one because financially, I think I was just talking to some of my girlfriends. Like, it's hard. I mean, encouraging ourselves, especially in this economy. We honestly have dark humor. We laugh about it, but I think it first starts with having conversations about finances. I think a lot of times we don't, in family, friends, we don't like to talk about it, but it's needed, especially now because with what's happening, it's like a roller coaster. So I think my girlfriends and I, we talk about savings every time we meet, seeing how we can do better, in case, one of our jobs falls or, we have some family situation come up. How can we better our finances for our future, for our families? Because some of us want to have families in the future. But we have conversations. It's not really great encouraging wise. I'm looking for my mother's encouragement to give me really at this time, because it's hard. It's really hard out here for my
So
generation, I'll say.
what are some of the things that you plan to do that maybe this your generation will hear what you plan to do and said, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I can do the same.
So what I've done before I even got my job, I got into saving. Like every time I would get paid, I would get paid, and I would say I only have this amount. I would take the other amount and pretend it's not there. So I would create a discipline finance for myself when it comes to putting money in aside. I also got into stocks at a really young age, not fully knowing it until I got into watching YouTube videos and just really researching myself. Those are the main two. I also started creating a lot of other avenues of making money from not just my primary job. I started figuring out how can I make other money, like hustling, really. So it's legal hustling, clearly legal hustling. We're on record, of course. But legal hustling, I put that money that I was getting and put it aside in my savings or in my stocks, or I put it in, some money markets. I tried my best to find other avenues, still am, to find other avenues to really put my money in for bettering my future and my legacy, Lord willing.
Anita?
So for myself, I got into stocks based on Faith telling us how easy it was to do it on my phone apps. And so I got into two separate savings of stocks, got in very well, figured out what the market was going to do, and bought in many dips and made money that way. Annuities, CDs, money markets.
Did you
I
do that
rarely put
recently?
money in.
Did you do that recently?
I've been doing it probably. My husband died in 2021. I started stocks before he died. I've always put money into wherever I work. I always utilize their 401k and try to do 10 to 18% or more, so that I am putting money aside and not. I taught Faith, don't ever live on 100%. I teach my classes, don't ever live on 100%. The reason
That's
why
good.
we see take the 10th off for giving to the Lord, the next 10th could be for whatever savings you have, but you should be living on 60 to 40%. I know that sounds crazy, but if you live on 100%, you don't have rainy days, storms, COVID days, you're not ready for them. And so where, she said savings, but she has CDs, she has annuities, she has stocks, she has different things. So the reason why it seems like it's hard for her, because she is living on that 40%, and she's living here and she's got to pay rent. So and people will always say, well, why are you having your daughter pay rent? My other daughter paid rent as well in the 10th grade. And Faith got up to that age and said, why aren't I paying rent? Albany did. And I said, because you have to train your children about finances early. You cannot keep giving them money, because when they go out on their own, they don't understand rent has to be paid, no crying about it. You got to pay utilities, you have insurance, and so they had classes that they took on their own to learn about how to live on a certain amount of income. And she's learning that now, because one day in the future, she may have her own home, and she's got to prepare for real estate taxes. She's got to prepare for having cars.
Right.
So she's doing more than she's saying, but she's probably ahead of the game.
We're talking about Anita. We're talking Anita.
Right.
Anita.
So my stuff, I have my business, I'm making income from my business, not as much as I was making with my 8-hour job. Now that my 8-hour job that got doged is over, I had been saving money and putting it aside in money markets and stocks prior to that for the last 5 or 6 years. So I knew that there could come a day where I would want to transition out of working that 8-hour job to working my own business. I did not want to work for someone in this phase of my almost 60 to 70 year age group. And when I started to think about Social Security, I hope it stays around. I've been paying in it for a long time. And annuities that I may have because of my husband's death, or whatever I got going on for money that I have aside. But I'm going to still live reasonably. I'm not going
True.
to live as like frugal, but I'm not going to live in excess. So I want to make sure if I'm strong enough to go on a trip, it may be one trip a year, or if it's for my business, it's two trips a year. But I have to plan that out. So I'm not trying to be reckless.
So, in a quick statement, what would you offer? What information would you offer, or shall I say, what information of hope that you would offer from your generation to our audience? What could they do now?
I think that my generation needs to look at prioritizing what is really a need versus a want. We are living in a generation where we think our hair, our nails, going out to dinner, not cooking anymore is something that we need to be doing. It's not true. Our older parents and generations before learned to live on less and still was able to manage a
Yeah.
household and children. And I think that we have to look at what we're spending, go to that checkbook, go to that whatever you're using to manage your money and see what is a need versus a want. And if you have to cut it back by 30, 40, 50%, you need to do that.
You got
And
to do
I'm
what you
not
have to
kidding
do.
when I say if it's peanut butter and jelly, we've lived on peanut butter and jelly.
But the
It's not
bills
going
were
to hurt us.
paid.
Yes, the bills were paid. And all this stuff with the TV and the fancy phones and all the apps, cut that stuff back. You can live. Lord knows there's probably a book in your house. Start reading free books at the library and cut the TV off. If you can't afford cable, cut it off. I
That's
mean,
so
I know
true.
that sounds drastic, but if
No,
you are living on a credit card, you are not helping yourself in your finances. And I don't mean to say that as though I'm all that. I've lived, if you read the book, I have lived poor. My mother was under the poverty line, so I know, and I use ketchup. We didn't have something the other day for spaghetti. I said, okay, I'm going to make some spaghetti sauce out of this ketchup. So you have to learn how to improvise when you are
absolutely.
making really decisions on money.
Two statements of what you stated. One is we talk about you have to learn to do what you can do, whether it's your hair, learn it. They have YouTube uh, recordings for a little bit of everything. Learn to do your nails,
Everything.
learn to do your makeup, learn to do all of that. And then I think you said something about thrifting, depending on where you go, because all thrift stores are not the same. They're not as clean as some others. So, but many times it goes back to a individual's self-identity or how they feel about themselves. They feel like if I go to a thrift store versus let's say a thrift store versus a consignment shop, usually the consignment shop is a little is another level of used clothing. So, but it all goes back to the identity, the personal identity of an individual, the self-esteem of an individual. I'm like, I remember one lady in particular years ago. She was talking about, oh, I don't use clothes, and I'm like, lady, if do you see what you're wearing? And it is more so because maybe I don't know, growing up they had hand-me-downs, because sometimes that's an issue as well when you have hand-me-downs and you're like, when I get an adult, I don't want any. So it does make a difference when you can have that self-esteem. Like, you find rich people or people that are well-to-do, they don't wear everything on their fingers or everything is bling bling, but they'll run a car in the to the very end, but they have a nice home. They are, they wear the used clothing, but the bills are paid. So I think we need to learn. We meaning both generations need to learn what you said. What is want and what is a need, and I think we can go further with that. I definitely think
Yeah.
we can go further with that. Let's hit. Well, we just hit a little bit on clothing. Faith, do you like, not necessarily like, how do you feel about wearing your mom's clothing? You different have
We
different styles.
we have different styles. Thank God I have different height. but she is very different with her style. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's just not for me. I am more, she's like the dressy type person. I'm like, I could deal with just like some pants and a top and go for it. But yeah, we have different styles, of course. As you see today, like, before we even started, she wanted to see if she wanted to have this or not. I mean, I'm like, pick or choose. But yeah, we have different styles for sure.
Anita?
We have different styles for sure. But I love with my Milkshake Monday, I don't have to. I choose to wear a different outfit every Monday. I try to have a different outfit. So
Every
I'm
what?
either going in a different outfit, a top outfit. So every Monday I usually have a different outfit, and now we have a second companion video. So I try to even make more outfits for that. But I will go shopping at a consignment or a thrift store, or I will go to Faith's Closet, because we are different heights, but on camera I can wear shirts or I can wear a dress and you can't see below. But I love color. I'm a woman of color and
Me
I love
too.
color. Faith could
Me
care
too.
less about color or coordinating whatever or makeup. She actually wanted me to do the second Milkshake Monday backdrop with no makeup on. I agreed to do that because I wanted her in the
You
actual
did it?
episode. So she said, I don't, on our show for backdrop, I don't get to wear makeup like I want to wear.
Vaseline is all you need. People, if you're listening, Vaseline is all you need. I'm so serious.
Help me, Lord.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I look like a brown blob, a little chocolate
I
morsel
use
on
Vaseline when
the
I go to bed, but nobody sees me. Nobody
Honey,
sees
I
me.
gotta come. I'm coming as I am on backdrop because that's what. But people like it. I got
Yeah.
told I was too much of a perfect patty on Milkshake Monday because I wear my hair and the makeup and the outfits are coordinated. And it's like, oh, we like backdrop because you're not perfect patty. I said, okay.
It doesn't. It
But
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Um, it's a personal preference.
yeah.
I think it's a personal preference. Just like some people can go out. My girlfriend, she doesn't wear makeup. She got to have her lips done, but she doesn't wear makeup. And me, I feel more comfortable with it. But when I'm going to the gym or going for a walk or something like that, I bump all that. I'm just gonna go like I am. I'm just gonna go like I am. But I tell you what, it's so amazing though with the clothing, what this generation likes and what they don't like, or um, just like you said, Faith, it's good for her, but it's not your taste. So we can't judge is not even the word. You can't say you like and you dislike something because we're so different in generations. And I no way in the world, what? Go ahead.
But Portia, when you said the word about respect, when I see some young men and women of Faith's generation, there's one thing to wear a shirt and tie, shirt and pants or whatever, and you don't have to color coordinate. But when I see your stuff hanging out, men or women, it's all out there. I was like, I don't need to see that. I understand because we have this discussion because both of us have big chests. And I'm not talking about chest so much. Well, sometimes it's chest.
I have
When
big
we were
ones. I have
younger,
big ones when I wear what's called bra. Other than that, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
well,
ahead.
we weren't allowed to have a lot of cleavage showing. Now cleavage,
Right.
I can go and see a woman's cleavage down to her kneecaps. And I see the boy's tail cracks, and I was like, I don't need to see all that. And maybe it's my generation that says, okay, have some self-respect. If you're going to wear your clothes, do it as neatly, whatever clothes you want to wear, but do we have to see a lot of the hanging of the pants down to see the pants? I just think a little bit is too much. And I think there's a lack of self-respect on some, not all, some. And even the older generation of us, we're acting a fool to me sometimes. We're just out there looking like we want to sell ourselves and show ourselves. And I was like, hey, let's back off of that a little bit. Anyway, that's my thought.
I think the only time that I would, yeah, I agree with you as far as, I don't want to see everything. The only time that would not bother me at all if we're witnessing to him, that he or she, and they're
Oh,
they're
yeah.
at a come to Christ moment. I can forget all of that because eventually all of that will change. But I hear what you're saying, and this is again, this is not one of these bashing the younger generation because oh, you had some older women as well. I'm like, sister girl, no, 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 no. You didn't even look in the mirror before you left the house. And then and then sometimes it's at the church as well. Because everything I talk about, I talk about A to Z. And it's my opinion, it's my mouth, and I don't disrespect anyone nor what they believe. But I mean, come on now, ladies, come on, gentlemen. Anytime now, man, with a man, you're paying so tight, you can't even hardly sit down. And then a woman, you can't bend over, especially when you're leading praise and worship. Okay, that's a whole nother Zoom. That's a whole nother Zoom. Don't get me started on that because again, it's not the only time I would not pay that any attention is when there's a brokenness and you want to accept Jesus or something like that. I don't pay attention to clothing when we're in that mode of thought or that activity or something like that. But when you're just out there, that's different. Okay, let me see. Religion. Let's hit religion for a minute. Do you all believe this? What is your faith?
So I'll go first. I believe in Jesus Christ. That for one. So my faith, my name is very important to me. I take that very serious in anything I do. But yeah, I believe in Jesus.
So I'm a Christian. I'm not religious.
Yeah.
I love the Lord. I love all 66 books of the Bible, Old and New Testament. I share and witness in whatever way, whoever, like you said. I don't want to be critical of whether it's their look. If God has led me to be outside this house or inside this house, if somebody is broken or struggling or hurting or in need, I want to be open and available to share love and the gospel of Christ in whatever way the Holy Spirit leads. My whole premise of when I leave this earth or whenever the time comes is I want God's well done. And so even when I wrote A Leap of Faith, A Life Filled with Questionable Choices, people will say, oh, that's a religious book. It's not a religious book. It's a book showing you that I'm a real person and I made decisions outside the will of God and I had the consequences for that, but God showed me favor to get out of some pits that I put myself in. And so religious, I even don't like the word, I can't even say that. I'm not a religious person, but I love the Lord and I have a faith that I want to shine to whoever is listening or whoever God puts in my path.
Yeah, absolutely. That is first and foremost. We represent God as a spirit, and God lives within us. And he lives to a point where we are his mouthpiece, we are his hands, we're his thoughts. All of that comes together. And when we are here on this earth, as long as we represent him, we're in good standing. We're in good standing. So it's not a place where we judge anyone. We don't we God is love. So with him living in us, when wherever we are, we're witnesses for him. Definitely witnesses for him. So whether it's in the generation of the 50s, the generation of the 60s, the generation of the 20s, it's still, and I love it when I see young people giving their lives to the Lord. And believe me, I already know that we do not let's see, we everyone doesn't worship the same in the same way, but we worship the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. We don't worship the same way. And then I grew up where I couldn't wear red polish, couldn't wear pants. Some people did not press their hair. I'm like, woo, thank you, Jesus. I'm not there anymore. And it's not because they were so dogmatic, but was because they didn't have a full understanding of the Word of God. Because there were some powerful people then, just like we're powerful people now. But the generations, they have to come together, and we can't be afraid of change because Anita, in your generation, I'm sure they did things one way, Faith, in your generation, they may do it another way, but we meet the same, in the same place, and we meet in the same median strip, and that's God Himself. So I just love.
Can I,
Absolutely.
you know, I we now are going to a culturally diverse, ethnically diverse worship experience right now, and I love it. I love seeing, for a while, I grew up in a generation where we had Black churches, congregations that were Black. And predominantly that was what was around, First Baptist, Second Mount, all this, all that stuff. But we were all just Black people congregating and not really going outside. Well, now I find in this century and where we are now that we have people who are all coming together to worship Christ. And, I grew up with hymns, and now there's more contemporary. I would like it to be more of a balance, so it's not all contemporary. We can mix in the hymns. Faith knew a lot of hymns, and now coming straight out and do all contemporary. I do want it to be balanced, but I'd love that if we could all, Black, white, green, yellow, blue, all of us come together and praise the Lord, and that would be
Yeah,
wonderful.
that would be wonderful. And last but not least, um, my thing is the different way. It's still on a topic of clothing. The different way that some of the younger generation come to church, it's a little different than what we had, but all at the same time, we cannot turn our nose up at them. You know what I mean? In the sense of, they may not have been taught how to dress to come to church. Because I see now, even I do it as far as wearing jeans to church. And some people think that's wrong. But if that's all I had, and I want to meet someone who loves God, and they show me Jesus, wear the pants. Wear the pants. Unless you're going to
Mhm.
give them money, go buy some clothes. So I kind of get a little tick when I hear people talking about, oh, why she had that on. Now, if she's unlearned, if she hasn't been taught, that's one thing. But if she know the deal and want to be seen, or something like that, that's a little different. But I think we should embrace that younger generation. Younger generation embrace the older generation. Older generation embrace the younger generation. Then we can all get. Can't we all just get along?
Well, if we don't make these adjustments, Portia, then the younger generation is leaving. And we don't want that. Just like the men were leaving, we don't want that. And if Christ can say that we can call him Jesus, we should be able to talk to the men of God and the women of God and call them by their first name. If he was wearing sandals to go place to place, I mean, we've gotten so fashion conscious and just left out the fact that we need to be proclaiming the good news of Christ, which had nothing to do with fashionista land and all these titles and stuff we are caught up in.
True, that's true. I know at one point our Archbishop was talking about, I'm getting rid of all the titles. I'm like, I'm good with it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Before we go, thank you so much for all of that you shared. But before we go, tell me about, not just me, tell our audience about your books, your podcasts, and all of, how they can contact you and all of that good stuff.
So for me, I have a website, which is fourdoseproduction.org, and it's the number 4 as opposed to writing out 4. And on the website, you can find my Milkshake Monday podcast, which are available on all platforms. But both books are now on sale for $45. This Fast and Hard just came out in May this month, and this came out in 2004, my memoir. So Faith actually did the covers for both. Her talented self did the covers for both. The Audible is on Amazon, and you can go to my website, and also have a YouTube channel, Four Dose Productions, that has all my videos. And when I go out and speak, for example, I speak at Towson University to their baseball team sometimes, all those videos are out there because I want to give what I have out to share to people for them to grow. The only thing that I've ever really sold are the books and me coming out to speak. But most times my videos are free because I want to share the good news and to encourage people. I have a spirit of encouragement. So I
Me
want people
too.
to grow. So I love your hope and encouragement. That's me. So, Faith.
I'm an introvert, so I have my website HKL for You, which talks about all the videography. You can check me out on YouTube, HKL for You, HKL 4, the number 4, and you. And you can watch some videos. I go from history videos, historical videos that are not being told, of course, on television, to tutorials or cooking videos. I kind of just do all around, no set schedule, nothing like hers, of course. Very different. So yeah, check me out
Are
on
you a
that.
chef?
She's the
I recorded just because of family. I'm very big on family. I recorded my now 100-year-old aunt cooking lemon cakes and cooking just a bunch of cakes. She's the chef or the baker in our family, really.
lemon pound
Oh,
cakes.
wait a minute. The 108-year-old grandmother? What'd you say?
100-year-old. She's 100. She's 100.
But she was doing the cooking?
Yes.
What? Okay. Okay. Got to check her out. Got to check that out. All right. So, but when we finish this live, I would love for you to put your information in, post it. Okay. Post it in so that individuals, if just in case they did not catch it when you were speaking it, they can go back and
Okay.
view it. And by tomorrow, this will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, Portia Wheatley Trophy of Life, because there's a Portia Wheatley and there's a Portia Wheatley Trophy of Life. So make sure you tag on the Trophy of Life on there. You will have the right one. Again, thank you so much for your time. Dog, it's almost been an hour. I don't, talking the
Thank you.
generation.
Thank you. We appreciate. We enjoyed each other. That's why the time flew. But we thank you so much, Portia. We appreciate you
You're
inviting us
definitely
to Trophy
welcome.
of Life.
You're
Thank
definitely
you.
welcome. I appreciate you saying yes. So, audience, don't forget, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, like, share, even these posts, and they will also post their information as to how they can be contacted. And definitely go and view. I am, like I said, I am so into the hope and encouragement piece. This world definitely needs hope, and they need to be encouraged. Black, white, Japanese, Hispanic, everybody. And I would love for our audience to find it somewhere in your heart to speak that hope and encouragement out of your mouth, and not just out of your mouth, but in deeds. Okay? I love you. God bless you. Until the next time. Bye bye.
All right.